According to Muslim belief, when Jesus returns, he will come back as a Muslim who will deny that he ever claimed divinity, or ever claimed to be the Son of God, or ever died on a cross. Sign that Jesus warned of with regard to the last days would be the rise of false prophets. Today, throughout the Islamic world, in the nations that surround Israel, there is a dramatic rise in messianic expectation. According to Islamic theology, Muslims are expecting in the last days two primary Messiah figures. The first individual they call the Mahdi. In Iran, they call him the 12th Imam. Now, the Mahdi is essentially a religious, military, political leader that comes in the last days to cause all the world to convert to Islam. The second individual that Muslims are looking for is Isa al-Masih, or Jesus Christ. Muslims teach that when Jesus comes back, he comes back as a Muslim to tell all the people of the world, including Christians, that he never died on the cross, he never claimed to be the Son of God, that Islam is the only true religion, and that all people should convert to Islam and submit to the Mahdi. To discuss the Muslim expectations concerning their two primary Messiah figures, I sat down with two Muslim leaders. The first was Adnan Oktar of Istanbul, and the second was Sheikh Ikrima Saeed Sabri. Sabri is the president of Quranic and Islamic Studies at Al-Quds University in Jerusalem. And he's also the son of the former Grand Mufti of Jerusalem.
المهدي في عقيدتنا أنه رجل صالح سيأتي الله سبحانه وتعالى به في آخر الزمان من أجل أن يقيم العدل خلال مدة معينة، فترة زمنية سيحكم ثم بعد ذلك يموت، وإنسان عادي. الذي يهمنا طبعا في عقيدتنا هو أنه إن ظهر هذا المهدي نقوم بمناصرته. سيلتقي بالسيد المسيح عليه السلام، لأن السيد المسيح في عقيدتنا أنه سيأتي في آخر الزمان، وأنه سيعينه على إقامة العدل في الأرض.
According to Muslim belief, when Jesus returns, he will come back as a Muslim who will deny that he ever claimed divinity, or ever claimed to be the Son of God, or ever died on a cross.
الصليب ليس لذات الصليب، هي عبارة قطعة خشبية أو كذا، هو يكسر الصليب إشارة إلى نفي حادثة الصلب، ويكسر الصليب ليعلن أنه ما صلب.
According to the Muslim expectation, together the Mahdi and the Muslim Jesus will cause Islam to become supreme throughout the world, causing most to become Muslims. Likewise, according to the Bible, the Antichrist and the false prophet will force all inhabitants of the world to follow them.
لن يختفي كليا، إنما سيكون هناك غلبة للمسلمين، لأن الإسلام سيقوى. ومن المعلوم أن الدولة القوية عندما تكون موجودة فإنها يكثر أتباعها، وطبعا سيكون عندنا من أهم أسباب انتشار الإسلام وظهور عيسى عليه السلام حسب عقيدتنا، لأن عيسى عليه السلام عندما ينزل سيخاطب النصارى وسيخاطب أتباع الأديان أو الأديان الأخرى أنني أنا عيسى عليه السلام أحكم بشريعة محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. فبالتالي سيكون هناك عدد من النصارى، عدد كبير سيدخل الإسلام، لأن النبي الذي آمنوا به. أما وضع الجزية بمعنى إلغاء الجزية، سيلغي الجزية لأنه لن يقبل من الناس غير الإسلام، لن يكون هناك أهل ذمة، لأنه يقول لهم أنا أمثل الشيء الذي كنتم تؤمنون به ها أنا بين أيديكم، فأعلن أنه لن يكون هناك أكثر من دين. إذا كنت تريد أن تؤمن بعيسى عليه السلام فأنا عيسى عليه السلام، لن يقبل منه إلا الإسلام.
Another striking reality concerning Islamic expectation of the Mahdi is their belief that only he will be able to mediate peace between Israel and the Palestinian peoples. Throughout the Middle East, there's a yearning and a longing throughout the world for some sort of elusive peace agreement, some type of program that would cause the state of Israel and the Palestinian people to come to some solution to the ongoing conflict. Do you also believe that it will only be through the mediation of the Mahdi that the Israelis and the Palestinians will actually find this peace?
Tabii Mehdi'nin dışında mümkün değil. Yani hiçbir şekilde ne Filistin hükümeti buna yaklaşır, yani Filistin'e yaklaşır, ne de İsrail hükümeti buna yaklaşır. Ancak Mehdi'nin öncülüğünde bu gerçek, bu güzellik oluşacaktır. Hadislerde de öyle geçiyor zaten. Peygamberin hadislerinde de o şekilde belirtiliyor.
I also asked Mr. Oktar about his belief that during the time of the Mahdi's reign, sacrifices and offerings will be reinstated on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. His response was very revealing.
Şu an Hristiyanlar da, Museviler de, Müslümanlar da o mescitte ibadet edemiyorlar. Museviler de, Müslümanlar da kurban kesemiyorlar. Birinde, ki biz Mehdi devrinde olduğumuza inanıyoruz. Kurban da, sunu da serbest olacak. İlk Mehdi'nin yapacağı icraatlardan birisi budur. Hazreti Süleyman Mescidi'nin yapılışı ve kurbanın ve sununun serbest oluşu ve ibadetlerin rahatça yapılacak hale gelmesidir.
Yet according to Islamic prophecy, the Mahdi will be a Muslim caliph or a global Muslim leader who together with the Muslim Jesus will actually establish his seat of Islamic authority on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem.
طبعا بما أن فلسطين والقدس هي في قلب العالم الإسلامي، إذا لابد أن يكون المسلمون أو المهدي بالتحديد موجودا في هذه المرحلة. وعندما سيأتي المهدي في آخر الزمان لن يقتصر حكمه على بيت المقدس أو على فلسطين، سيكون هو في أغلب دول العالم.
Mr. Oktar even went so far as to claim that during the time of the Mahdi, humans and jinn, or essentially the Muslim version of demons, would freely communicate and interact. Mr. Oktar even went so far as to claim that jinn would play a premier role in causing Islam to prevail throughout the world. You mentioned that during the time of the Mahdi, that the jinn would freely interact with humans and that they would be able to freely communicate. Could you explain that in a little bit more detail?
Evet, Hazreti Süleyman gibi olacaktır Hazreti Mehdi'de. Aynı şekilde cinlerle bağlantısı olacaktır. Mehdi hem cinlerin hem de insanların Mehdisidir. Müslüman olan cinler, Allah'a inanan cinler, İslam'ın dünya hakimiyetinde inananlara yardımcı olacaklar.
Because the Bible teaches that the Antichrist will rule for a period of 7 years, many Christians are surprised to find out that according to Islamic prophecy, the Mahdi will also rule specifically for a period of 7 years.
نعم، وفي هناك أكثر من رواية، لكن الرواية المشهورة هي 7 سنوات.
Many other similarities could be listed, but the point is clear. The expectations of many Muslims throughout the earth concerning the Mahdi and their version of Jesus bears a striking resemblance to what the Bible describes concerning the Antichrist and the false prophet. Though as unusual as much of this information may be to Christians, many Muslims believe that their Mahdi is already here on the earth. I believe we're living in the time of the Mahdi right now.
Evet, biz Mehdi'nin geldiğine ve faaliyet halinde olduğuna inanıyoruz. İstanbul'da çıktığına inanıyoruz. Çünkü Tevrat'ta o şekilde geçiyor. Yani Musevi kaynaklarında öyle geçiyor. Müslüman kaynaklarda da o şekilde geçiyor. Şii kaynaklarda da aynı şekilde İstanbul'a çıkacağı belirtiliyor. İran'ın önde gelen dini liderleri de aynı şekilde İstanbul'a çıkacağını söylüyorlar. Başka da vakit yok yani.
Simply stated, in light of the many startling ways in which the Islamic Mahdi and the Muslim Jesus align with the biblical expectations concerning the Antichrist and the false prophet, discerning Christians would do well to be aware of the rise of messianic expectation throughout the Islamic world, particularly in light of Jesus' warnings that the last days would be marked by the appearance of false prophets who will arise and mislead many.
We're born-again, believing Christian who knows the Bible, any spirit that says Jesus is not the Son of God is the spirit of Antichrist.
And so when you go up to the most sacred spot of earth in prophecy, the Temple Mount, you look, and right in the middle is this Dome of the Rock, and is this mosque, and this declaration there saying God has no son. You know, that's just like the work of the enemy.
It is written in the Dome of the Rock, far for God to have a son. It is the same place where Jesus will put his throne there. So Satan is a little bit ahead in action of the church, and he is trying to put his throne instead to prevent Jesus.
The enemy not only does things blatantly like that, but he also is a preemptor. He seeks to stop the work of God before it happens. He tried to kill Moses as a baby, tried to kill Messiah as a baby, tried to wipe out Israel in the Holocaust before the resurrection of Israel, before all the prophecies.
You can see when Satan wants to prevent Jesus from even coming to the world by killing the children. All the time he had plan. He knows what's going to happen for him. So the next plan, or the end plan, is Jesus is coming and put his throne and will be ruling, and his headquarters will be in Jerusalem and ruling the whole world from Jerusalem. So Satan is doing the same. He wants to put his throne, the Khalifa or the Khilafat, in the same place in order to prevent Jesus from second coming.
So it's just like him to take the place where everything not only happened, but it has to happen, where the throne of God will be, where God's kingdom will be, and set something up right there on top of it, saying, hey, you can't do it, because I have it's my mountain. The enemy says, in Ezekiel, the enemy says, I have your high places. You know, but God says, no, that's not going to last.